Fans, we are back live on thehannibaltv.com with another edition of the Shooting from the Hip podcast. And this edition is the Kingpin's WrestleMania week wrap up. A lot of information there about his return to the ring. But before early run-in. Early run-in. He likes to keep things unpredictable, and that would be my partner in this podcast, the one, the only king of the streets, ECW original and reigning, soon to be defending hardcore road trip heavyweight champion, Kingpin Angel Medina.
What's up, bro? What's up, man? I'm doing good, man. I'm just recuperating from last weekend's event. Been doing some light workouts, cardio stuff, and just relaxing, just getting ready.
Well, we've got a lot to talk about in addition to how that match went and all the details around it. We've, of course, have just released finally, thanks to dealing with an actual professional in terms of artistry, the poster for the upcoming huge event returning to Napanee for the first time in probably over a decade. Great North Wrestling presents the Napanee Schools Out Slam. As you see there on the poster, the Kingpin is there cutting a promo with that title belt over his shoulder and his challenger looking across from him. That would be Big Daddy Derek Roy, who I like to liken to a modern day Bam Bam Bigelow, if you will. Extremely big, agile man, strong as a bull.
You give him too much credit.
Well, you know what? I'm starting to think you're taking Big Daddy a little.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying you're giving him too much credit.
Well, we'll talk about that more in a bit, and we'll go into the card more in a bit. But that is, of course, Saturday, June the 29th in Napanee, Ontario, Canada, at the Strathcona Paper Center. Tickets are available right now online at ticketweb.ca, but they will also be on sale at the building the week of May the 6th. But before we go into any more detail there, I thought I'd get some quick reaction from you about probably the top news story of the week otherwise, and that would be that AEW footage that they chose to air Wednesday on Dynamite. I'm sure you probably caught it. It was...
No.
You didn't?
No, I didn't catch it.
Okay, it was about 2 minutes long. There was no sound whatsoever.
Wait a minute. Is it that CM Punk thing?
Yes.
Okay, I saw that. I thought something else happened. No, yeah, I saw it. I bumped into it. I think it was on TikTok and Instagram. I think I bumped into it while I was scrolling.
It was pretty much all over the place, and it turned out to be, as they like to say in this business, more of a fart in church. Didn't really show much. Didn't show Mr. Khan fearing for his life. What, Kingpin, were your thoughts on the footage and the decision of AEW to air it?
Well, I mean, the funny thing is that when I saw the footage, it showed that the Jungle Boy was the one that confronted him. It looks like CM Punk just kind of like was talking to him, and I think the kid was just from my perspective, from visually seeing it, didn't hear anything. He was being kind of like disrespectful visually to him. And CM Punk, I saw that he said that he was just trying to talk to the kid, and the kid was just saying like if you got a problem with it, why don't you do something about it? And then that's when he said, hey, kid, don't take it to that level. I'll kill you, or destroy you, whatever he said. And I mean, if that did happen, that's a form of disrespect. A guy who's been in the business for quite a long while, and the Jungle Boy kid has only been around for like, let's just throw out a number, like 4 years, and he's only in the business because of his dad's connections. And a lot of guys who get into this wrestling business have like their celebrity dad. Like David Arquette. Well, David Arquette really got into professional wrestling, if you didn't know, the certain people, because of his celebrity status. It's the same thing. Luke, his dad, probably knew somebody and had the connects, and they were like, "Oh my God, there's a guy from 90210. Yeah, man, we'll throw him a bone." I mean, that's just how it is. I mean, it's just that's how he got his opportunity.
Did you think it was a wise move from? I know they're trying to turn it into an angle with the Young Bucks saying that FTR was behind it and set up the whole thing, and of course paving the way for their match upcoming for the vacant tag belts. Do you think it was a good move for business moving forward, or does it make them look minor league talking about a star in another company?
Doesn't really matter, man. I mean, they could talk and say whatever they want. They're grown men. I mean, why judge them for what they're trying to do? If that's their angle, that's their angle. If some people say it's shitty. But I just think I don't see it causing any harm or foul.
You of course were in the original ECW locker room and probably saw your share of
shenanigans.
Actual you want to say skirmishes or fights. What out of your time in that locker room or any other did you happen to see that stands out in your mind of an actual physical encounter between wrestlers?
Well, I mean, the only thing I ever saw, I mean, I've seen a lot of things, but the one that always stood out was when I think we were in North or South Carolina, and we were the building was set up, and we were doing some tryouts with some local kids, and I say kids, maybe like in their early 20s and stuff, and they were trying out, and it was me, DeVito was sitting next to me, and then New Jack was sitting on the other side of the building. Well, not the other side of the building, just the next row over, not that far. And then he was like, just working the match, just doing his thing. And then all of a sudden he was like, he looked at us, he's working the gimmick. And then he went to his, then he looked at Jack and he was like, "What you looking at, boy?" And then Jack looked at us like, "Did he really say that?" And, like that look. And I'm just like, oh, man. So then after his match, he was in the locker room sitting next to me, and Jack just came in and just started beating the crap out of him. And then when Jack was beating the crap out of him, that's when the boys got involved and started beating the crap out of the kid, and then just threw him out of the locker room, with his stuff and into the parking lot. Mm-hmm. So I remember that. That was pretty entertaining.
Mm-hmm. Well, that sounds a lot more severe than this, which, aside from a brief, looks like a front face lock or something Punk applied, wasn't exactly a...
Could have been a front face lock, a cross front face lock. I mean, it could have been anything. But the thing is, the kid was being disrespectful, and supposedly. And again, he should have just shut it down right there and just say he just walked away. Tony Khan was, like you said, he said he was in fear for his life when he did that press conference. He didn't look perturbed. Why would he be in fear for his life if the fight broke out and it had nothing to do with him? So that's just smoke and mirrors. And then they said that they fired him. They let him go, but CM Punk said, "I quit." So see, you get two sides of a story. Which one is better? CM Punk quitting, leaving the company, or Tony Khan firing you? It's better than Tony Khan firing you because it looks like they're in control and they got the power and they don't want the decision. So I don't know why they leaked the footage. It should just let sleeping dogs lie.
Yeah, I agree. And hopefully now all parties involved can move on. Speaking of CM Punk, I know you didn't catch a lot of the actual WrestleMania card, but he came out for the match with Drew McIntyre and attacked him at one point after he won the whatever that particular belt is. I'm always mixing it up. I think they're calling it the World Heavyweight title, whatever.
Yeah, I always lose track.
The mid-card heavyweight title, whatever, and attacked Drew McIntyre. And then Damian Priest came out and cashed in and won that belt. So that's going to be a white-hot feud for Punk when ready to return. And hopefully AEW can get back on track and start at least drawing better numbers for their television product and their live attendance, because it's a big year this year, because they're looking for media rights fees, another TV deal. And as I've said a few times on this broadcast and others, I'm not one of the ones that is a hater of AEW. I think if you're a fan of the business, competition is a good thing. And the more places people have to apply their trade, the better.
Oh, no, absolutely. I totally agree.
In terms of what we discussed at the last show, the Hall of Fame induction by your former boss and individual that you're still friendly with to this day, Paul Heyman. Did you see any of that?
Yeah, I did see that. I did get a chance to get on the Peacock channel and watch the replay. It was pretty good. I mean, Paul really knocked it out of the park with his speech. He really, laid it all out there, and fans were loving it, chanting ECW. Pulled out the trench coat, the hat, the headset. I mean, it was pretty historical. Because again, he really just knocked it out the park. It's, speaking from the heart, but shooting from the hip. So no pun intended to the show. But but that's the best part about it is just that it's Paul being Paul, and the fans were just eating it up when he was just being 100% honest.
Yeah, I thought when a couple of highlights for me was when he came out, they actually used the original ECW music and not Bodies by Drowning Pool, and when that whole building went bonkers for ECW, chanting ECW, and then when he made the comment that if you think ECW died in litigation or something along those lines in 2001, you can suck my dick.
Yeah, absolutely.
ECW seems to be something that McMahon tried to kill and others try and besmirch, but it seems even new fans that probably never saw any live ECW on either TNN or Sports Channel Philly or whatever, and were never, like I had the fortunate circumstance of being going down to Swanson and Rittner and seeing the original ECW shows. It seems that new fans continue to develop, and the spirit and love of the fans for ECW, it just doesn't seem to die, does it?
Oh man, that company is legendary. That company will never ever lose any type of speed. I mean, fans just watch it for the nostalgia. Fans watch it for just the honest, hardcore matches that the guys put their bodies on the line. So I mean, they're the originator of violence. That's what they always said. And not the innovator, but the originator. So I mean, I really enjoy being part of ECW because no matter what happens, still alive, not alive, I will always be alive on TV. Fans could always watch me, so I will always be present.
Yeah, it's funny you mention that because I've been sharing some of the YouTube footage of yourself in terms of your work as one of the Baldies and some of the matches that you've had, and that great subway angle with New Jack.
Yeah.
And it stands, in my opinion, the test of time that it really was ahead of its time, because you can watch that whole series of vignettes that you and DeVito did on the subway with then when Jack came and did his part in the end. I mean, that's classic stuff. And the feedback with respect to the fans of Great North Wrestling, since you have been announced as one of the co-main events, has been 100% positive. There's a lot of anticipation for you here, and I think that's to do with not only the fact that you were an ECW original, you really connected with your character of the Kingpin and that honesty that comes forward, and you never in your matches left anything. You never phoned it in, did you? Is that fair?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the thing about it is that I'm very proud of what I accomplished. I mean, I felt a little bit bad. I'm going to be honest. When I went to the show in Philadelphia, I wasn't 100%. When I saw the pictures, I didn't look 100%. I felt like not physically like shit, but when I saw it, like I got to get better with the physical fitness, and I got to get better with my diet. I mean, I now understand how Big Daddy Oreo feels when he looks in the mirror. I really felt that. Looking at myself from the outside, I was really disgusted. So I credit that man for walking every day to the ring with his titties all flapping in the wind, and So now I just got my goal is right now is that I took it like a circular plate, like a little salsa dish picture of Big Daddy Oreo, and I got it at the bottom of my toilet. So when I piss and I put that stream down into the toilet, I'm hitting in his face. So it gets me focused and committed to what I got to do when I get to Napanee, you know. So I'm pissing all over him, man. So now I'm just taking it to the next level.
Wow. Do you need a reminder of
Oh my God.
the man that Big Daddy
Look
is?
at all those rolls. They should be butter in those rolls. I'm telling you.
I got to be honest with you.
But I'm fat too. That's why I gotta lose this weight, man. I gotta hit it hard.
Well, I think training hard for the match is a very good idea, generally speaking. But again, I think you're probably taking the challenge that Big Daddy Roy represents a little bit lightly.
No, I'm not taking him lightly. I'm just being realistic because the fact is, just because he's a big man doesn't give him the edge. Just because he's been wrestling guys smaller than him and he's, devastating them in the ring, that he thinks that he is just one of those guys like up here. I'm not knocking him. I'm just stating a fact. I never heard of him. I never seen him. I saw a couple footage. It's not that great. But I'm not going to sleep on him. I'm not going to go in that ring and go, oh, this is going to be easy. Like I said before, it's just that from my perspective, I wrestle the best. I beat the best. And, he has to prove to me that he's worthy of my respect. And he's not going to get that respect just because you say that he is a formidable athlete, formidable opponent, that he is credited in Canada, that he beat local talent. That doesn't put any type of I'm impressed, until I know in my heart, in that ring, once it's all said and done, either he wins the title, but I know I'm going to retain it. But I'm just giving him a slight little edge, like saying, if he wins, that big if he wins, I'll go across and shake his hands. But if I win, he knows he got beat by the better man. And I'm just keeping it 100. I mean, this is not a promo. This ain't a shoot. This is fact. And it's black man approved.
Well, again, we'll have to see. I honestly, first of all, I've never steered you wrong, have I?
Mm-mm.
In all these years, have I steered you wrong?
No.
So I think I'm trying to emphasize the fact, and it's good that you're training and you're going to need to be the top condition mentally and physically that you can be for this bout. Otherwise, that title is going to stay in Canada. Do you have it with you now, or do you still polish it up, sleep with it, that sort of thing?
That bad boy's here somewhere. I had to move it, around the room, but it's in here. It's laying around here somewhere.
Okay.
Oh, it's right here. It's right under my chair. So right there, baby. It's gonna come home. No matter what, it's gonna come. You know what? This is how generous I am, because this is the type of person I am. Once I beat him, I'll leave this in Canada, because I hate traveling with this bad boy because it's so heavy and I got to pay the extra, cost of traveling with this bad boy, because you don't pay my baggage fees, because I know you pay me well and you pay but you never pay for my baggage. And this costs money to travel with. So I might leave it in Canada. You might let him hold it, smell it, lick it, taste it, and just feel that experience of pretending to be the Hardcore Road Trip champion.
Well, it's one of our co-main events.
Hey, question.
Sure.
Is this show sponsored by Ozempic? Because he needs some of that to lose. Get Ozempic to sponsor this bad boy. Get that Ozempic. I'll use it. Oh, fuck it. Hook it up.
Oh my! I think you're.
This is also water, just to let you know.
Okay, I think you're going to be probably. Maybe perhaps regretting some of the things you're saying here about Big Daddy Roy, but again,
you're say Oreo.
Oh boy, you're making me lose my train of thought here. Not really, but I think it's going to be historic. I'm excited personally, having been a part, not the part that didn't pay anybody and ran off, but having been a part of the Hardcore Road Trip experience in. Oh, there we go. Are those double stuffed?
Double stuff, baby. Double stuff.
Oh boy. Having been a part of the original events and seeing that belt has been not defended in over a decade, this is going to be a historic night. And as long as you're going to bring your A game, I'm sure Big Daddy Roy is bringing his A game. And it's going to be, to quote Gorilla Monsoon, the irresistible force, meaning the immovable object. You're the irresistible force.
I'm the irresistible force.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Charisma. What are you eating there? Is that an Oreo?
No, it's a Jolly Rancher, man. I got nauseous for a second just looking at that picture. It just it turned my stomach, so I needed something to.
Okay, we're gonna move on.
Stomach puking. Let's talk about Philly, man. You said you were going to talk about Philly, and you keep.
I have it right here.
You keep diverting it back to Big Daddy Oreo. I know you're really high on this guy, but let's get back on the topics.
I am very, very high on this guy, and I'll tell you, if he does not take that Hardcore Road Trip title, I will say you were right, I was wrong. How about that for a wager?
Absolutely, and you know what? Some poutine, and I got a bag of bitches right here for him too. So,
okay, let's talk about Philly then.
Yeah, Philly.
Here's the event. It of course took place at the vaunted historical 2300 Arena, also known as the ECW Arena, and it was a 6-man street fight between the Baldies against the Pitbull Revolution. Can you talk about?
Well, you had to go / Carnage Crew because HC Loke is part of that threesome. So he'll see the show and text me like, "Really?"
just blame me. Sorry for the oversight. No offense intended. But walk us through when you got to the arena. I know you met some folks backstage there. Let's talk about all that, the atmosphere that you encountered when you arrived.
Well, first of all, the atmosphere was wonderful. Tim, who ran the show, it's first class all the way. I mean, I tip my hat off to him. He's very, very nice. He takes care of the talent. I'd really like to work it for him. It was really an impressive event, and he does it very well. I was very honored that he considered me and DeVito to be part of that event. So we talked about coming back again. But again, it's seeing everybody from Francine, who looked fabulous, from the boys, I saw Jerry Lynn, Tanaka, Tajiri, Super Crazy, Crowbar, all those guys that I know for years, and haven't seen in years. It was just an honor just to be around them again. Danny Doring, it's just so many people that, I keep spitting out and forgetting certain people, but it's just not because I forgot about them. It's just there's so many that was there that, Meanie, Louis DeAngelis, it was just the best, just seeing my friends again.
Didn't you run into Rob Van Dam?
Oh yeah, he called me Chili. So that motherfucker was like, so DeVito used to always smoke weed with him. So I was not I don't partake in the marijuana. Never did, never will. And DeVito, that's his gimmick, and that's Rob's gimmick. So he was really kicking it with like Riddle, and Riddle was there, nice guy, Rob Van Dam and stuff. So when we went up to him, DeVito, "Oh, Rob, how you doing?" DeVito. And then, of course, you can see my eyes. He's like, and then I go, "Hey, what's up, Rob?" "Chili, what's up, Chili?" I said, no, it's Angel, man, not Chili. And he goes, "I didn't call you Chili." And I said, "Oh, us black people all look alike, but no." so we just let it go. I mean, I don't care, I love Rob. It's just, I take everything as a joke now, so I just didn't care. I don't take offense to stuff like that.
What was the given the fact that there were so many ECW originals there, et cetera, and it was Mania week, I'm assuming that the crowd was extremely hot, and I read from some of the fans' perspective that had also been to events there when it was the ECW arena, that it was very reminiscent of the old days, so to speak.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was renovated and it's brand new. Everything looks great. I mean, it's still the ECW arena, but I mean, it's just renovated. It looks really like top notch building. It doesn't look the same as it used to be. So it was just interesting how it was, but it was a blast, man. And like I said, just seeing everybody and just experiencing, I mean, I had my little bitch fast about certain things, and me, I shoot from the hip. Nunzio was there. That motherfucker didn't walk up and say, "Hey, how you doing?" You don't, you come into, back in my days, you come into somebody's locker room, you introduce yourself to everybody. Fucking Dolph Ziggler, whatever and then his shoot name was, he just walked by me, while I was sitting down tying my boots. Didn't just come down and say, "Hey, how you doing?" Whatever. I'm so and so. A pleasure to meet you. Nick Namath, whatever. So, it's just a form of respect, because if I walked in his locker room in WWE, and just because he's in WWE doesn't make me a less better person because he's at the top of the game right now. And I'm not knocking him. I'm just keeping it 100. Back in the days, you walked in anybody's locker, from ECW to ROH to NWA to even in the Indies, you walk to everybody and shake their hands out of respect because you're in their house. That's the God on the shoe. But nowadays, this world of professional wrestling doesn't have the same cultural ethics that we had back then. That's just my opinion. Ninja could watch this show and tell me I could go fuck myself. Dolph Ziggler, whatever his name is now, he can go tell me to go fuck myself. It is what it is. But I'm just keeping it 100% honest.
Nunzio worked the Smith Falls Showdown for Great North Wrestling last July, and what a great professional, easy from the promoter's perspective and booker's perspective he is.
Oh, he's an athlete, man. The guy is just still fit, still just lightning fast. I mean, I'm in awe of him every time I see him because he hasn't changed. I'm the one that looks like I got stung by a bee. This guy looks like he's just, looking great, but,
in terms of your match, I also wanted to mention, I'm very surprised that with all the years of hardcore matches, like basically the guy never really took a break from wrestling and hardcore wrestling, and that is Gary Wolf.
Oh, Gary
Wolf. I'm impressed with him to this day to still be out there doing that.
Oh, Gary is the man. He always says hi to me. He's always very respectful. I mean, I respect him, respects me. I mean, I hold him in high regards. He always says happy birthday. The man is just classy, man. And even when we wrestle, we separate the friendship once we get in the ring and we go at it. But the guy is just still a monster, man. The guy looks phenomenal. He's jacked. He's just God bless him, man. He's a good friend and he's a great athlete.
So the match that you had, the 6-man, break that down for us. When you went out, what were your thoughts? Because this has been how long had it been since you stepped into the ring?
Probably like I say 2 years, maybe roughly, maybe a little less than that.
Did you have any? First of all, did you get the rush from the crowd there, the adoring crowd, and did you have any? Were you a little bit nervous about the ring rust factor when you?
Yeah, I was worried because I was worried that I was, not going to be able to perform at my best. I was nervous. I just felt like I was not myself. Again, I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm just being realistic in regards to trying to be the best I can be for the fans, So you're always going to be your worst critic. But the thing is that I just know, man. And, it's just like, you feel, I don't know, you say, I still feel the same. But then when they said run down the ring, I'm like, oh, and then I started running and tweak, and a little twink went in my knee. I'm like, God damn, what the fuck did I do? Mm-hmm. Excuse me. But it was just, like I said, it was still a great match. I just feel I could have done better. Loke was phenomenal, even though, he still performed he's always performing, man. That guy doesn't stop. Yeah, we rib him, we joke with him, but that's just the love between what we have with each other. DeVito's always on his ass, joking him, but it's just nothing but love. But DeVito was great. Loke was great. I'm just my worst critic.
How much time did you actually spend in the ring?
I think it was an 8-minute match.
So you had a
You
few
know,
minutes in there.
yeah, it was like an 8-minute match, and I mean, it was just a brawl. So I mean, I was pretty happy that the fans, were still cheering and still receptive to us. So that felt good. You know, but again, I'm just like I said, fans pay their money to be part of the experience, and I just feel that I should have more to give, especially the money that they dropped to come to see the show. And again, they were still receptive. They were, "Oh, Angel, you're great, you're wonderful. It's a pleasure meeting you." But when but in my brain, I'm just like, I could have been better. That's all. I'm just my worst critic.
Well, you're a professional, and you have some time to train for the end of June. Was that DeVito's last match, or do I have that wrong?
No, because the motherfucker first he said he was retiring.
Yeah.
Then he said, "Oh, I didn't say that. I just said I just gonna take a break." So we
Oh,
don't know. We don't know. He's just 1 minute he's retiring, next minute he just needs a break for here and there, and we'll see if he does. He
'cause
does.
I interviewed Bobby Fish, who said that he was
Oh yeah,
going
he
to
was.
be
Yeah, he was
presenting
there.
him with an award. How did that go? Were you there for that?
No, because my flight came in late, but I did meet Bobby Fish. Nice guy, very respectful. Very very classy dresser. I didn't recognize him because he didn't have the gimmick mustache at first. Nothing that because it was just the gimmick mustache I was looking for. And I mean, hell of a talent, man. But he was funny.
Mm-hmm. He indicated that it was going to be DeVito's final match, and was
That's what he
giving him
said.
an award. Mm.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. 1 minute he's saying yeah, and then next minute, no, I didn't say I was really retiring. I just said I was just wanted to take a break. So he might say that now, and then next week he goes, you know what, I'm retiring. So we
Mm-hmm.
don't know. We don't know.
Do you ever really retire? I think you've said that before. It's something
Wrestlers
that
never
doesn't
retire.
happen usually.
How
Yeah.
many times Carino retired?
Mhm. And of
No.
course Terry Funk. Well, we'll have to have DeVito on this show again and catch up with what he's doing to see if it was an actual retirement or just a break, and go over some of the classic Baldy's matches that you had in ECW. But all in all, you're satisfied with that as a first return to the ring, a first step.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Like I said, it just showed me that I need to be more committed and more focused. But again, that's just I think no matter what I do, I'm always going to be like, you got to be more committed, more focused, because you're your worst critic. So I mean, that's just what it's all about. Because when you're too sure of yourself, that's when you slip up and lose.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have a little, did you see the thing with Mike Tyson when Mike Tyson says, he just did an interview saying that I'm scared, but the closer they get to the match, to the show, you know I'm there to kill somebody. But he gets nervous because he's just not been in the ring boxing for such a long time. But once he gets to that closer to that event, it just kind of disappears.
Yeah, as a side note, since you brought it up, what are your thoughts on that encounter? I keep hearing that they're throwing stipulations on it and basically making it an exhibition, but then I'm hearing
It's
no,
not.
they're going to go full. So who
Yeah,
would you pick on that one?
I'm gonna go with Mike Tyson because he has the experience, the knowledge, and just because Jake Paul has the speed and the youth doesn't mean that he has the advantage. I mean, that's why I'm saying the guy. It's fucking Mike Tyson, bro. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the last thing to go in your arsenal is your strength.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I seen him hit the bag, and he's still a monster. He's still a beast. So I mean, and why if he loses, man, that just tarnishes his legacy.
Mm-hmm. I can imagine, given the fact that this is kicking off the live event programming on Netflix, that the purse is going to be phenomenal as well.
Oh yeah, man, he's getting paid, but I mean, is it are you doing it for the money, or are you doing it for to maintain to show people that you still got it? And I'm not knocking Mike. I just don't want him to lose because the guy he's a phenomenal legend.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Did you watch the rest of the show? And if you did or caught pieces, what would you consider to be the match or matches of the night there? If it's too close to call a couple of them,
I don't know. I didn't really watch it. The only thing I was gonna say is like I'm just thinking I think it was the Damian Priest match. That was pretty good.
no,
And,
I mean the show you were at.
oh, I thought you were talking about WrestleMania itself. Like, what was the best match of that show? Man, there was just so many that was so great. I want to say the C.W. Anderson and the Shane Douglas match was pretty good. I was watching it. You know, it was just pretty on point. You know, that's what stood out in my mind.
How was that? Just a regular match, or was it hardcore?
No, it was a regular match. It was a good match. You know.
How's Shane Douglas's conditioning lately? He's kind of looked to varying degrees of in and out of shape.
I mean, he looks good. I mean, from my perspective, he looked great. You know, I mean, he was wearing a shirt, but I mean, he still looked like Shane Douglas to me. You know, I mean, and that's the thing, man. I mean, the age is an undefeated champion. You know, and I'm not saying. I mean, we're all getting older, but he still looks youthful. You know, yeah, he doesn't have the blonde hair. I mean, it's a little bit gray, but the guy still looks great. Al Snow looks great. I mean, it's just the guy takes care of himself.
Mm-hmm. C.W. Anderson is another talent that I don't think gets his credit for his body work. He seems to be continuing to cut a path in the business too. I know we had him booked last year to come in, but then had a family issue and wasn't able to make Great North Wrestling event. But I know you're a friend of his. What do you think keeps him going at such a high level? He works quite a bit still, does he not?
Oh yeah, he works quite a bit down in North Carolina, in South Carolina. I mean, he's just busy, man. The guy's a hell of a talent. He's just still got a lot in the tank, you know, and got a lot in the basement, and he just keeps grinding, man. So, you know, he's a hell of a performer.
Mm-hmm. Well, hopefully we'll have him up here for Great North Wrestling in the future as well. A fan is asking if we can briefly discuss the bloodline. Of course, Roman Reigns finally lost the Universal Championship to Cody Rhodes, and that was I don't know if you caught any of that, but that was a very heavily booked match. And just this week, they added 2 new members, Jacob Fatu, that monstrous individual from MLW, and Haku's son.
When did Jacob Fatu show up? I didn't see him.
He was there. I'm probably a little bit SmackDown. He was on the last.
Because he was at the arena. I saw him when I was leaving. You know, a bunch of. I mean, I love those guys. You know, they're just so nice people. You know, and again, I just shook their hand, and when I left, you know, I saw Lance Anoa'i there. Yeah, he's. I mean, I know him for years, and we always joke around like, "See you every 6 years." See you, you know. So they were outside. I mean, they're a great bunch of people, man. I just love hanging out with them, man. They just always make you feel welcome, you know.
Did Jacob Fatu wrestle?
No, he was just there kicking it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
well, he's definitely signed with WWE and is, I guess, rumored to be joining the Bloodline. What do you think of the end of Roman Reigns' reign, no pun intended, and what about Cody Rhodes and his ability to carry that heavyweight title going forward? There's some in the industry that are concerned that you know, he doesn't have the basic charisma to have a very long and successful reign, but we shall see. What are your thoughts on those matters?
Well, I mean, I like Cody, man. I mean, he earned it. He earned his opportunity, but I mean, it just depends how long WWE is just going to let him hold the strap. Like I said, I'm not trying to knock him. I hope he holds it for a very long time, but I just don't see it happening.
Do you think it was a mistake to end Roman's reign, given the fact that people were saying they were hoping that he would hang on long enough to be the longest champion of all time and knock off Bruno Sammartino. Now that was a ways away still, but
yeah. How many years is Bruno Sammartino? That
consecutively he held it for 6 or 7.
7 years? Nah, they would have not done that. They would have not given him that strap that long. So he would have never been the longest reigning consecutive champ. You know what I mean? He would have maybe surpassed Hogan. I mean, it's Hogan and Bob Backlund and
the
Hogan,
longest consecutive reigns.
Yeah. It's Bruno Sammartino, Bob Backlund, and Hogan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he'll probably surpass Hogan, but in worst case scenario that he would have got to Bob Backlund, but he would have never been number one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to knock. I'm not knocking it. It's just how it is.
No, that's a part of a bygone era where a champion would stay that long, especially in this day and age. And of course, people are indicating that The Rock will eventually wrestle Cody Rhodes down the line, and I think
SummerSlam,
that'll be an anticipate. I was very impressed with. I know some people criticized The Rock's performance in night 1 in the tag match, but I was blown away by what he was doing out there. Talk about conditioning and all those good things. He was phenomenal, and I know it was a long match, and they said, "Oh well, it could have been shorter on the outside." But the Rock still definitely has it. He's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, he hasn't been in the ring quite a while. I know he was been practicing and getting in ring shape, but it's just repetitive. You got to keep doing it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, in any event, they were saying, one of, if not the most successful WrestleMania of all time. It certainly, I watched both nights. I had a little bit of wrestling fatigue there, but I definitely enjoyed pretty much all of it. The only match that really didn't stand up was the Jimmy versus Jey Uso match. That had some real rough spots in it, but I still found it passable. Not a real stinker in the bunch. So it'll be interesting to see how they top themselves next year. They kept going on about it being the Triple H era over and over again, and of course no reference to Mr. McMahon. So
he's ghost. But you know what's funny? Did you see that article I sent you that they're considering about taking down the Titantron and kind of make the arena, the building smaller?
Yeah,
so
that's the influence of the UFC on the company. They're looking to create more of a streamlined atmosphere from what I've read, and also that they're starting to let go some of the long-standing office staff in there too.
Yeah, I saw that. But you know what? Do you know what I think my perspective is? Because you look at it, okay, why do that to a company that that you have like a great fan base, right? And you're like the Titantron, all that, the fans, no empty seats, and then all of a sudden you say, well, I'm gonna just make it the house shows the show's smaller, and also we're gonna take down the Titantron. The only reason I could come up with this, well, you're trying to make sure that WWE is not outshining the UFC, because the UFC is your number one, and you still, even though WWE is still your bread and butter, you want to make them number two. So why would your number two be more production value, more like pyro and all this other stuff? And think about it. If I was a UFC fighter, he goes, well, how come when Roman Reigns is getting fucking, I'm just making a number up, $2 million a year, and I'm barely making it, getting the shit kicked out of me, So I can see, I don't know. I just smell something that just doesn't feel right.
Well, and that's a very good point when you look at per fight, the salary of UFC fighters is it's been a long-standing argument that they're significantly underpaid, and then you see guaranteed money of the WWE
merchandise. Think about it. Why have you ever noticed that I have never been to a UFC fight, but I don't see no damn Michael Bisping t-shirts and and fucking and Conor McGregor fucking fingers and all this bullshit, because they have to get a percentage of that, and that's a lot of money. How come they're not making action figures? They used to do those action figures, and also they stopped.
I think they are. I've only been to one UFC event, and it was in Vegas. It was Lesnar versus Mirror 2, and it was, of course, a number of years ago. And I don't, in all fairness, have a strong recollection of the merch stand, just that it was an extraordinarily long day. It started at the prelims started at 3, and the main event, we weren't out of there till after 11. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting moving forward to see how they coexist under that one umbrella. But definitely, I can see some concerns between fighters and what they're currently making and WWE.
And I went to the UFC store. They do have merch. Max Holloway. This is for the 300, but this is okay. Yeah, they do that, but I never see it at the shows. I never see people selling it and rocking it. This is stuff you could buy. This is the stuff you could buy. You could buy online at the store. But I'm just looking. I mean, I just don't jackets. A lot of the stuff is like UFC, old UFC. So they don't even have wild card boxing, headwear, wild card boxing, UFC. Yeah, like see, it's like they have a little bit of the talent, but they don't have all the talent.
Well, it kind of reminds me of AEW. They at least in the shows that I went to in Ottawa and Toronto, there was a merch place, but it was pretty small and pretty basic. Now, mind you, it was lined up around the corner to get that merch, but certainly not on the level of WWE. And I've read that in some of the events AEW runs in the States, they don't even have a merch stand. So that's an interesting model, considering how much money can be generated at live events in merch, considering it's $50 for a t-shirt.
And I'm just looking, and that's why you see my eyes over here, because I'm looking at the UFC thing. It's all UFC. Everything's UFC. So all the revenue, think about it, all the revenue goes back to the UFC. Yeah, they have a couple shirts for the fighters, which again, not knocking it. It's just that's what I'm visually seeing. So these are their top champions. And yeah, it's just everything's Wildcat, boxing, and UFC. So the majority of it.
Well, it's certainly going to be a new era and a new entity in terms of how they merged their business model, and that was predicted at the start when the merger was announced, that WWE would be molded more towards the UFC style. But we'll see. Either way, my goodness, they're printing money.
Yeah, everything's like Conor McGregor and. That's it. That's all I see for right now.
Well, we'll have to get you on the road to making some Kingpin merch, a couple of t-shirts, something like that. You have a pro wrestling tee store, do you still?
No, I don't have that anymore.
No.
Well,
with the demand that's going to be forthcoming for this event, in which you are one of the co-headliners, as we've talked about, the Great North Wrestling Napanee Schools Out Slam, Saturday, June 29th, Napanee, Ontario. Strathcona Paper Center. Tickets on sale now.
And who's the black guy? Is that Thunderbolt Patterson? Do you got Thunderbolt Patterson up there?
No, that is my hired gun, the prodigy Nathan Banner, who's, the fans may recall, he is going to be facing the French phenom Rene Dupree, multi-time WWE Tag Team Champion. And if Rene Dupree does not defeat Nathan Banner, he will be out of Great North Wrestling forever. If he wants that Canadian heavyweight title shot for that he thinks he's earned somehow when he didn't, he was unsuccessful in Renfrew, he's going to have to beat Nathan Banner, who has agreed to become part of the big money players, my stable. And I've asked Mr. Banner to spare nothing to take care of Rene Dupree, and I'm predicting right now that not only will he not beat Nathan Banner, he will be out of Great North Wrestling and possibly the entire wrestling industry in total. So that's one of our co-main events. We also have the return of the Blood Hunter, who's coming back from a major injury last year. He'll be on the show. We have women's action with Silesia on there on the poster, a very talented lady who competed in AEW. And we have Mario Mancini from the WWF, gave many legends their first matches in the WWF. He was there for 9 years from the mid 80s to the 90s. He's going to be wrestling his final match ever at the Schools Out Slam. And Pretty Paul Roma will be there of the Young Stallions, Power and Glory, pretty wonderful in WCW. And of course, he was a member of the Four Horsemen. We're going to have a total of 7 to 8 matches. It's going to be a TV taping for the HannibalTV.com. And I suggest that fans get their tickets at ticketweb.ca. They will be on sale at the arena itself the week of May the 6th. And there's a lot of excitement coming forward from the community for the event. It's the first time that quality professional wrestling has been in Napanee in some time, and we're having a lot of sponsors come up. You'll see them on the poster, and it's going to be historic in a number of ways, but you'll see the logo for Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling. That's the school that Paul Roma and Mario Mancini run. Yeah. We're starting an association with them, and you're going to see some of the top independent talent that come out of that school in the Northeast on the show, and many more. The fans are going to be very happy with the night of action that we present. Most notably, a lot of anticipation for your hardcore road trip title defense. So that all goes down on Saturday, June 29th in Napanee, Ontario. I know that you're in the mental frame of mind already. You're redoubling your training, because we wouldn't want this to be your first and only match in Great North Wrestling, would we?
My first and only match? No, it's not. That's not gonna. I mean, that dude. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. I'm still gonna be fighting for quite a while, so we're good.
The other aspect of this is we're about to announce our second date in the Great North Wrestling season. I'm going to just put a few more touches on that and be announcing that soon. So tickets will be on sale for that event too.
Right on.
It's going to be a really great season again for the new Great North Wrestling. Kingpin, before we wrap it up for this week in this edition, do you have any final thoughts on your tenure in Philadelphia or anything else that you want to discuss besides taking Big Daddy Roy lightly?
No, I mean, like I said, it was a great show. Tim did a wonderful job. Brock Feinstein was there. He did a phenomenal job. It was a classy show, and the fans was not disappointed. And, hopefully they'll bring us back again. Me and DeVito or Enlo for, if DeVito is retiring, then maybe that'd be his last match. But like I said, it was a blessing. It was a great opportunity, and I had a cheesesteak, and, it was a blast.
Are you looking forward to, I know when you were going to be up here in February and the travel got messed up, you were going to have some poutine. Is that something that's going to be first on your order of business?
That's why I told you to get me into town early, so we can definitely hang out and do our thing instead of rushing around. trying to get to shows and stuff, I want to enjoy a little bit of a day just to relax and enjoy the sights and sounds, get some Tim Hortons, get some poutine, drive around, see, say, I can't believe they don't sell hard liquor with beer, got a separate gimmick, and just go around and just hang out, man. Just want to hang out and just chill for a bit before, I like to relax before, and I'm not saying before the storm comes, because I am the storm. It's just that, I just want to relax and just enjoy it, and then just boom, get to the show and just really lay waste, because like I said, I would love to be the first match so I could get it over with, slam, drop the big elbow, and then kick him in the mouth, and then just go and enjoy the rest of Canada, and just you ever play Red Dead Redemption? The video game, take that fat bastard, cut him open, just rip the skin off, just make myself a nice little jacket, and just enjoy life, man. Enjoy the Canadian people,
Well, we'll be working those arrangements out soon, and we will be hitting up the eating establishments of your choice. Just once again, I think we're gonna have. Sorry,
we could still do that review. We can still do the review, and you know what? The best thing is we can go to that restaurant you said you were going to go. Didn't you say Big Daddy Oreo works there in the back making the food? So he could just make our poutine, and then we could do the interview and give him a thumbs up or a thumbs down on his cuisine and keep pushing forward. So it's like knocking two birds out with one stone, man. Excellent.
I feel like Tony Schiavone on AEW the other night when the Will Ospreay promo was happening, where he slammed Triple H indirectly. Anyway, we're going to hit all the places that you want to go to, because this could very well be your first and only appearance in Great North Wrestling if you keep talking trash like this. But again, the proof will be in the pudding, and it's as Lex Luger used to say.
You said pudding. Once again, you say pudding. He's like, he hears it on the show, man. Don't talk about food around this, around him, man.
Wow, it's only an idle boast if you can't back it up, and if you can back it up, that remains to be seen. But I'm going to say thank you for the fans watching Shooting from the Hip. We'll be back with another edition in the near future, and don't forget, if you're in the Napanee and Ottawa, Toronto area, that radius, the tickets are on sale for the Schools Out Slam June 29th, ticketweb.ca. We'd love to see you there. We're gonna have a meet and greet where, yes, you too can come in and shake hands with a bona fide legend or two, including Angel Medina and others. Are you going to be looking forward to that portion of it, seeing your fans and meeting them, your Canadian fans?
Absolutely. That's why you see me looking at the other screen, checking the status on my passport. So that's what I'm doing right now, just to make sure everything's flowing very well. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. That's why I'm on top of my game, checking everything, application status, and I'm not bullshitting, just to show you fans, my application is still in process. Can't be any difficult because I already have a passport card, so it can't take that long. So yeah, man. So I'm pretty excited. So I'm on top of my game, getting things done, not hesitating. I am a man with a master plan, and I'll always fulfill that. So yeah, man, I'm excited, bro.
Well, with that will be it for this edition of Shooting from the Hip. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the Hannibal TV, hit those notification buttons. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and we will see you next time.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please help me out and like this video, then click the subscribe and get notifications buttons so you don't miss any of my latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates.